Yeah, you can hear me, right? All good? Yeah, perfect. Um, nice. Okay. So, guys, welcome to the first lesson on IGSCE ICT. So, we we start from digital devices and we start. So, we'll be basically continuing the module. So, for the since we are kind of starting way back, so almost we have like about another uh, couple of months for your exams. So, I just want to know when are you guys having your midterm exams and final exams? Midterms are in May, is it? Yes, sir. First May. May. Hari. Okay. So, Vinal, by May, up to what extent the school might have covered? Don't know, sir. Hmm? Sir, we don't know because the ICT has been getting absent. Okay, but then again, yeah, he or she is the one who is going to make the papers, right? Yes, sir. Okay, එතකොට දැන් කොහෙද කරලා තියෙන්නේ කොහෙද ඉන්නේ? Actually, doing the first lesson, sir. Okay. Up to microcontrollers. Okay, okay, okay. Perfect, perfect. What about others? I know about Ethan. Um, who is there? Azman. Azman, yeah, where are you at school now? Which unit? Yes, memory and processors. Memory and processors. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we'll take a we'll speed it up a little bit just to go through these parts, and then we can jump into the next stuff and we can take it slow. So we are starting from digital devices now. So then we have software and we have memory and processors. All good. Okay, perfect. Jumping into digital devices then. So digital devices. I, of course, in this case, this is like I. So I hope everybody has the book with them. So if you don't have it, just let me know. I can share this digital version. So I really don't want you guys to like take huge notes in this because this is all about keywords. So I will show you guys few points which you need to highlight in the book, and then that is all the points which you are going to get into in the exams. Okay, so let's jump in and see what is this digital devices. Okay, nice. Okay, so here we have a huge lot of learning objectives. We learn about smartphones, SIMs, and all sorts of different items when it comes to phones and things and stuff. So so let me jump in and we'll see what this is. Okay. So starting with digital devices. Digital devices. Very simple kata, digital devices. So we have multiple different types of digital devices, right? We have mainframe computers. So here we call them as powerful, but as you guys know, we have the quantum computers now. So quantum computers are much powerful than mainframes, and they allow us to run huge billions and billions of transactions per second and calculations. So they are much more powerful. But yes, here, oops, here what we say is basically mainframe computers are the powerful stuff. Okay, so yes, you can't buy a mainframe computer. So a mainframe computer is something which will be used by a big organization. As well as then after that, you get into simple microprocessors where you will have small devices which you will be using to uh, process simple computing tasks. Okay, so let's jump in and see. So here you can see a mainframe computer, and here you can see a microprocessor. So let's understand what this is. Okay, so desktops. Desktops have more space and components than a laptop, right? And they often actually provide more options to a user, right? So, uh, I'll make this a little bit interesting. Do you know what is inside a desktop computer? Computer එකක් ඇතුළේ තියෙන කැලේ ටික දන්නවද? Okay, shall let me bring one and open it up with you guys. Hold on. Okay, some parts are missing on this. Where's the rest? Okay. Sadly, one part is missing. Okay, so come on. Let me. Okay, so I bought a machine. So I'll take you through this thing just for you to know what it is. Okay, so yeah, hold on. I think it will be easy for me to open this up in my mobile. No, well, let's leave that camera as it is, and
recording in progress.
Yeah. Okay, you guys can see this, right? Hari, perfect. Okay. So let's open this. Okay, yeah, let's open this up. Perfect. Okay, so what you're looking at is technically a desktop machine, okay, with few items in it. Okay, so okay, so what is this? I know there are some cobwebs in it, but what is this part?
Fan.
You know, not a fan. මොකද්ද මේ item එක? What do you call this? You should know. Okay, look at the ports. මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? Come on. So this is a VGA card. So this is basically the graphic card. Okay. So this is the one which you plug in your this display port. Sorry, or HDMI or display port, and or the DVI port, and you basically this converts whatever the data which is available to your display output, right? So this is a what is this model? Can't remember the exact model of this. This is a something 6030 or some sort of a card. Sorry, 1050. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so that's the VGA card, right? Okay, what is this one? Oh, either hard disk, exactly. This is the hard disk. Okay, let me ask you another question. So you guys can see the specification, right? Hari? Okay, what is the capacity of this? Penal.
It's blurry.
It's blurry. Okay. Let me. Now it's visible. Let me make it like try to take it close. Yeah. Now it's visible, right?
Yes.
I'll hold it like this, then it would be much more clear. Ah, Hari, nice. Okay. Can you tell the capacity?
500 GB.
500 GB, exactly. Perfect. And what else? What else can you say by looking at this? What is the speed of this thing? Can you read the speed? Payroll. Can you see? Can you see this? 3 gigabytes per second. 3 gigabytes per second. And in clear no, right? So that is 3 GB per second, and underneath it you can see it says the RPM, the speed is 7,200 RPM. Okay, so that's the speed of the disk. So the hard disk basically rotates in a particular speed, so it rotates in 7,200 RPM rounds per minute. Okay, and that's the speed. Okay, now let's take a look at the internals. Okay, so guys, very sorry, RAM is missing. The RAM slot is here, so the RAM is missing, and you can see the CPU, right? So this is the CPU slot, right? Okay, so shall we remove the CPU just to take a look under the hood? Okay, so I remove the CPU, opening it up. Okay, now this is what a CPU looks like. Okay, this is the chip. Okay, and you can see if I turn it around, I'm not sure whether these small chips are visible, but I think it would be visible if I hold it closer to here. Can you see the chip? Right? So that's the underside of this chip, and on the top side, right? Can you see it? So can you read what it is? මොකද්ද තියෙන්නේ? What's the speed? 4 gigahertz. Perfect. What's the model? Intel and Intel Pentium, correct. So this is not a Intel I series. So this is not a Intel I or a Core series CPU, but this is a Pentium CPU. So the Pentium CPUs are actually something which is kind of like a cheaper variant. So we have high-end machines, but this is also a cheaper variant. Okay, nice. So this is the motherboard. Okay, what you guys can see here is the motherboard, and in the motherboard we have this CPU slot. Okay, so in the CPU slot, if I get closer to it, you guys should be able to see some small feet coming out of the CPU slot itself. Okay, so how it works is, this has contacts. Okay, all these small dots are contacts, and you have a certain set of feet in the base, and all you need to do is you just need to put this in the correct side. Okay, so ideally if it is wrong side, you won't be able to put it in. Yeah, see, it's not go in. So guys, remember, you shouldn't touch a CPU like this. I'm actually touching it because this is a burnt CPU with a burnt laptop. Burnt motherboard. So it doesn't matter if I touch it, but you guys don't touch an actually perfectly working CPU like that. So okay, so this is the CPU, and what you do is you just put the CPU case and you pull it back and you lock it in like this. Okay, that's it. And once it's locked in, then we have, if you can see these small 4 holes, we have a CPU cooler which will fit on top of this, and that would be the point where the CPU will get its heat dissipated out of the CPU. Okay, so I'll just quickly explain the rest of the components. So we do have the RAM. So here the RAM sticks goes here, as well as the VG card technically goes here, right? And we do have few set of ports. So can you guys guess what port this is? The black color port. Any guesses?
HDMI.
What?
HDMI.
HDMI. You said HDMI? No, not HDMI. තව ටිකක් clear කරන්න බැරිද මට? No, right? Okay. You won't be able to see this. No. So okay. So these ports are known as serial ATA. Serial ATA ports, which is getting connected into this, the hard disk. So this small port is which is getting connected into the hard disk. Okay, so that's what is known as the serial ATA port. And then we have couple of other wires and different type of connectors as well. Okay, so we just identified most of the components. What is this one? What does that do?
Cooler.
No. What is it? Just guess. Cooler එකක් තමයි. This has a fan in it, but just guess what it does. It has lot of wires coming out. See, plus it is cooling, and there's a massive power harness connected to the motherboard, and there's another small connector connected to the motherboard. And yes, what do you think? What is it? Ethan, what do you think it is? What does the motherboard needs to work? It actually needs a power supply, right? So this is the power supply. This is how the power is being supplied to the motherboard. Okay, so that's the basic set of components. Okay, so I'll ask you one more question. Can you what do you see here? This round thing. Sorry? Yes, it is a battery. Correct. So the reason behind this battery is that now when it comes to a computer, when you turn a computer on, it basically boots up, right? A computer goes through a booting sequence, right? So this booting sequence is basically where it will find out all the hardware in your system, right? And that is where you will basically start the computer from. So that is known as the BIOS, right? The BIOS chip and the BIOS. So here, if you take a look at, the point which I am pointing now, this particular chip with a small white patch on top, this one, okay, this one, okay. So that is known as the BIOS chip. So your booting records and all the information is basically stored in the BIOS chip. Okay, nice. Okay, the reason I'm showing you all these things are, guys, so you just need to understand these are the basic concepts of a PC. Okay, so this is how a desktop or any sort of a PC works. So one more thing. Now, when it comes to a motherboard, there's another chip which is here, which you can see here. So these are controller chips. Okay, so what they do is they basically control the internal components of the motherboard. Example is, now here you can see we have the serial ATA, which is the point where the hard disks are getting connected. And can you guess what this cable is? Megan, guess කරන්න. What do you think? Do you guys have desktop computers at home? No. All use laptops. Are you? Okay. Then obviously no, you won't be able to guess this. So desktop machines have this thing called have a USB port in front. See, you have some USB ports in front. So this has USB and sound both. Okay, so that is which is being connected through this one. So this is the USB port, and the sound and the rest of the buttons are connected here and here. Okay, so I'll show you one more thing. Can you see a small chip right next to the wire with a small kind of like a small character? පොඩි මකුළුවෙක් වගේ එකක් ඉන්න.
Square shape.
Sorry?
Square shape, right?
Yes, the square shape one. මෙන්න මෙතන. මෙන්න මෙයා. හරි. So if you look at it closely, you should be able to see the sign. Make it clear. Okay, so there should be a small sign. So that's the sign of a small crab. So that's the sound chip. So that's what basically generates the sound and gives it out. And you can see the sound wires are technically connected to that particular location. It's not simple like that, but that's how it works. Okay, so that's one way. And then that's the basic internals of a desktop PC. Okay, so now for you guys, you don't get to actually see this because when it comes to a laptop, let's say about 90% of this is technically, yeah, I just throw it, threw it on the ground. Okay, so 90% of this is actually hidden inside a case, right? And it's compacted so that it will basically do all the things in a small form factor structure, right? Okay, so that's about the desktops. So what are the, okay, let me ask you a question. So what are the primary factors of, what's the primary benefit of having a desktop? What do you think? Cool. Dina, මොකද හිතන්නේ?
There's like more space.
Yeah, that's actually a let's say, that's not a what do you call it? That's not a good thing. No, that's something bad. Right? It actually takes more space. That's true. Yes, but the fun part is now you guys saw that all the parts can be interchangeable, right? You can remove and plug in parts. So that means you technically don't have to throw your PC away. Example is, okay, so if you take a laptop, if your laptop is slow, then technically the next option available is you can't remove a part and plug in a new part into the laptop. No? So the only available option would be for you to buy a new one, right? But in a desktop PC, it's quite straightforward. You can basically change the CPU, right? Okay, as well as you can find and plug in as much as peripheral devices as you want, not like a laptop, which is limited. Okay, so that's about the digital devices. Okay, now then that's about the laptops. Okay, desktops. Now we are jumping into laptops. So laptops Laptops, it's basically, as you know, it's a fully compacted device. So you have the keyboard, you have the screen, you have a trackpad, and obviously you have a battery, right? So that means the battery can be replaceable and removed or do some sort of a change whenever it is required, right? And obviously, the since because of the structure, it becomes extremely portable, right? So nowadays, actually, desktops have been replaced by laptops. About 10, you know, give or take about 10 years ago, 10, maybe 10 already, yeah, about 15 years ago, if you had a laptop, you're a guy, yeah, because laptops are so expensive. So everybody had desktop PCs. So even when we see a laptop, we are kind of like really attracted to it because we didn't have the money to buy. So all we had was to stick with desktops. So now tables have turned. Sorry?
Like phones now.
Yes, exactly. Now phones. Now back in the day, phones were really expensive. While I was schooling, if you had a not actually schooling, while I was doing my A levels, we got this Samsung color phones to Sri Lanka. That was back in 2006, and couple of my friends had it. So that was so expensive, but they had it, and like they were the guys in the block. Because it was so fascinating to see all these sounds. That was the time where phones started to have the ability to play MP3 files. ඒක තියනාගෙන මරු වෙති. Nowadays, like we don't even care about that. But those days, playing an MP3 file in your phone is අන්න මරු පොරක් කියන. ඒක තිබ්බා කියන්නේ. Alright, okay. Back to this one. So laptops, as you guys know, it's all compacted. So they tend to take less space, but at the same time, you get the problem into upgradability. You cannot upgrade it because it's all fixed. So then you get single board computers. Have you guys seen a single board computer? දැකලා තියෙනවද? So there's a single board computer called Raspberry Pi. So I bought my Raspberry Pi today. So this is a single board computer. Okay, so this basically comes with the case. It goes like this. So this is how it's connected. So you can remove the case and you can actually remove this motherboard as well. Let's see how to remove this. Yeah, sorry. There's a chip now. Just need to remove the chip and you can take the motherboard out. So this is known as a single board computer. Okay, so how it works is this has a CPU. So this is the CPU which does all the processing, and you have another two different controllers, as well as you have all the ports. See, you have an HDMI port, you have two USB 3.0 ports and two USB 2.0 ports, and you get a headphone jack. You get an HDMI out, so you can literally plug this into a TV or something, and you have a power port. So see, this is the power. So you get USB-C and you give power. And can you guess how the operating system is loaded? Since it doesn't have a hard disk. කොහොමද load කරන්න operating system එක? Oops. ඒක කොළ පාට නිසා it kind of replaces the code. Okay. So if you can see here, can you see something? A port. මොකක්ද දාන්නේ? Can you guess, Niral? Yes, what is it? Ethan, any guesses? You put this an SD card. So you take the board and you put the SD card like this, and done. That's it. So this is a, I'm not sure whether you guys will be able to see this, but this is a 256 gigabyte SD card. No, it doesn't take it, ne? And yeah, so this is a 256 gigabyte SD card. So we put it here. So usually what you do is you put it in the box like this. So it's firmly placed there, and then you take the SD card on the back and you put it in. Oops. I think I put it in the wrong way. Cool. Yeah, you put it in like this. Now it's in, and then you lock the case. You just take it in and you lock it, and done deal. This is the single board computer. Okay, so you know what? This is all these panels. So you can see these panels by the road. Roadside panels, local billboards are here, TVs. All of those devices are, most of the devices, they are running using this type of a single board computer. And mainly the reason is why is because it's power efficient. So it just works with a phone power supply. You just need to plug in a USB-C power supply, and that's it. It works. Simple as that. Okay, so that's how it works. Clear the single board computers. Okay, so I hope you guys saw how it works, right? Okay, so then mobile phones. I don't have to teach you about mobile phones, so you know what is a mobile phone is, and obviously mobile phones have SIMs. But do you know, like the newer mobile phones now, they don't come with a SIM. Most of the mobile phones now, they basically has a eSIM in it. So still you get the physical SIM, but there are some phones which doesn't come with a SIM. So you can't put a SIM, you just need to go to a location, a provider, or in this case we call them as a carrier. So we go to a carrier and we basically need to get an eSIM, and that's the way you load the phone with the system. Okay, so and then you have this type of specialist type of phones as well, where you basically provide some functions, like special functions to users, where you have emergency phones and all. What is an emergency phone? Dannawada? Dakala thinawada? Either. Okay, let me show you that as well, since we are talking about this. So you guys know the brand Cat? Right? So Caterpillar. So Caterpillar, literally this brand where they have like all these devices and stuff with like literally caterpillars. Right? They have devices, they have phones. So let's go to gear and sorry, not work, not this one. Where's the Caterpillar phones? You. Okay, so super. So these are all their phones, rugged phones, Caterpillar range phones. Okay, so the fun part is, let me increase it a little bit more. Okay, so these are all rugged phones. Again, rugged phones කියන්නේ මේ හදිසියේ මොනවාරි කාටරි ගන්න හරි පුළුවන්. එච්චර high. And they are actually made for people who work in construction, where they go out in harsh weather conditions and so on and so forth. So see, they have this type of phones when the maker. This one, S60, right? This literally has a thermal sensor. See, it has a thermal sensor. See, when a thermal sensor, you can actually see in a thermal view. So if you're like, let's say, if you are a firefighter, or if you're somebody searching for someone, something like that, then you can basically use the thermal, the thermal camera to basically get thermal imaging. See, you can find heat plates. Thermal imaging කියන්නේ මොකක්ද දන්නා නේද? Heat එක පේන්නේ. So you basically can see the heat emitting from a location. See, so this has a thermal sensor inbuilt. Okay, so these are the type of phones we call specialist phones. So they have like different specializations created for different types of users. So people can basically use it for whatever the specific purpose they are using for. So that's the idea behind specialist phones, but at the same time, there are some particular needs when it comes to a phone. Okay, so primarily we have this problem with accessibility. So now, example is like if you take a mobile device, we do use mobile devices for multiple things, right? Okay, so I'm not sure whether you guys watched the latest release video of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, the last release. So AK, can you remember they showed that the AirPods now can be used as a listening aid. AirPods now, if you have a hearing problem, you can actually use AirPods as a listening aid, so that it will basically help you with your accessibility needs, right? As well as different phones have different accessibility needs, so that they will basically make sure that the users can be users can use them to make sure that they can get through those problems. Okay, so those are like specific phones, and then we have our good old smartphone. So yes, it basically shows a button smartphone, which was like a long time ago, but nowadays the new smartphones are technically like new high-end computers. So they support Wi-Fi, and they also, now these newer devices, we can actually like properly play games on them because they are almost like consoles, as well as we have good cameras and you can run applications, as well as you have different types of virtual keyboards and so on and so forth, right? So now it's basically based on the device. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What's the difference between an iPhone and an Android phone? Can you tell me some differences?
Software?
Yes, perfect. Good answer. 100% correct answer. The primary difference is the software, right? But they do have two different, they do have many differences when it comes to comparing the software. What else? Tavatina. Apple and Android. The comparisons කියලා search කරන්න එපා දැන්. Ethan, can you tell me an example? Storage amount, that is actually not that correct. No, the storage amount is available on, so now both phones cannot get expanded storage. Sorry, doesn't get expanded storage, so you can't extend it. So it's basically locked. So storage is. Annahari, yes, yeah. Do you have a headset? I mean, AirPods. Yeah, so if you enable that feature, then you can use the AirPods as a hearing aid. Okay, මරු හොරවැඩක් කරන්න පුළුවන් හරිද? ඔයාට පුළුවන් ගිහලා ෆෝන් එක කොහේ හරි තියලා shape එකේ ඔය mode එක on කරලා you can listen. Yeah, if you want to eavesdrop on someone, you can just leave your phone. දැන් හිතමු ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගෙදර පල්ලෙහා කවුරු කතා කරනවා කියලා, you can go and leave your phone there and wear your headset and stay at some place else and slowly listen to them. I use this. I don't used to eavesdrop on people, but I do use it when I go to these lectures and all. Sometimes if it's hard to hear that what that person says, if I know somebody, then what I do is I turn that mode on and I give my phone to someone who is in a front row, so that then I can slowly listen to what they exactly say. So that way it's a good thing, but you can use it to listen to someone else as well. Okay, back to the question. So smartphones, now yes, the operating system is the first number one thing. Second thing is the chip, the controlling chip. So Apple has its own A series chip where it has different types of features in it, and Samsung is using their own Exynos chip, and they also use Qualcomm's Snapdragon chip. So Qualcomm Snapdragon is the latest. So both are actually go in hand when it comes to performance, but Apple has their monopoly. Apple chips sun kaatad denne. Apple has only Apple manufactures it and Apple builds the chip, as well as the next most. What's the last point? Dinar, what's the last?
Camera?
The camera. Yes, the camera is also goes on both ways, no? Like both devices have their pros and cons. I am also using a iPhone, so I've been using iPhone start from 2013, but still I say that this is not the perfect phone, because sometimes when I go out with my friends, now recently I went out on a camping trip, and one of my friends had a S24, and when we tried to take some pictures during night, his phone performed way better than this one. So this is a 15 Pro Max. So comparing, so these two are the same version, but comparing it, there was a massive, not a massive difference, but a notable difference. So camera goes into both ways. No, තව එකක් තියෙනවා. One specific point. What do you think? Here also you can see it's an iPhone. Hitandava, what's the point? Charging port. Now then again, both are using USB-C. So the latest phones both are using USB-C. So charging port is also not the point. Just think. Okay, let me ask this question in different way. Dinar, now if you now get a Android phone, will you change? What do you think?
The way you like control the phone.
Okay,
Like
let's say if I if I give you a Samsung S24, will you jump to that?
No.
You would stick to Apple. Why? I know you guys will not know this term, but just think why. You are actually locked into Apple, right? So you have your pictures set into the Pictures app, Photos app. You have your songs saved. You have your contacts saved. You might be using iCloud as well. So your contact details are contact into iCloud and all these things. So that is known as the ecosystem. So we are stuck in an ecosystem. Now example is I have an Apple Watch. I have my watch. I have the Apple Watch. I use a phone. I have three Macs, a MacBook Pro, a MacBook Air, and I do have an iPad, and my wife has an iPhone with the watch. My father is using an iPhone, and my mother is using one of my old iPhones. And my entire office is about 60% using Macs. So we are all stuck in the ecosystem. Now, even if somebody comes and give me the latest Android එක දුන්නත්, I would say no because I can't switch back. Now these guys have locked me in. So that's known as the ecosystem. Okay, so now you guys got a clear idea about mobile phones and the differences. Okay, so then we talk about tablets. So tablets are also simple, straightforward. So it's basically the same. It basically has the same functionality, but with a bigger display. So similar to smartphones, they do have almost 99% of the functionality, but some tabs now. So here it doesn't mention, but now with the newer tab versions, the tabs you do get keyboard folios where you can actually attach a keyboard, and you can use that tab as a personal computer, right? So that's how Apple and all market their devices so that people can basically use it. And then, so that's about tablets, phones, and stuff. So, guys, I hope it's almost clear for you guys. So let's jump into the rest. Any questions so far? මේක හරි ලේසි වැඩි නිසා මම ගොඩක් in depth යන්නේ නැහැ. So it's okay, right? Vinal, Ethan, and Azman, all good, right? Perfect. Okay, so then digital cameras and camcorders. Okay, so cameras and camcorders, digital cameras. This was something revolutionary which happened in the world, where so this is one of the oldest industries also, right? When it comes to movie making and cameras, people always try to use sensors, and people always try to use different methods of capturing pictures. Okay, so early days people started drawing stuff, and then we got cartoons, and ultimately we got into a point where we can capture a picture into a film reel, right? So now the traditional pictures or movies, how it worked was you had a certain set of frames. Okay, so these frames, they actually went through a specific speed limit. Okay, so it started from frames, a certain frames per second. So you can see now here these are seconds. Okay, so these are the seconds you have. So you can see first second and the second one. Okay, so this particular gap, when you take it as 6 frames per second, that means this particular gap, when you make gap you get 6 frames inside it. Okay, that time make a that means each second 1 2 3 4 5 6 you get 6 frames. So when you take 24 frames per second, then if this entire thing, if we take this as a second, then you can see we have 24 frames per second. Okay, theory hattena. If we do not see a minimum of 24 frames per second, you are going to see a delay in the video. හොඳම උදාහරණය මගේ අත, is it going very smooth though? It's kind of blurry. It's a bit blurry, right? Yes, that is because I am using a 4K high definition camera. So I'm actually using a game streaming camera. But the thing is, Zoom doesn't have the enough bandwidth to send that data set. So this has the quality to record it, but Zoom doesn't have the option to send it to you. So because of that reason, you can see the delay. So technically, this is running less than 24 frames a second. If this is running 24 frames a second, you should be able to see this very smoothly. So that's why in the films we need to have the high frame rate. Okay, so now guys, please do I hope everybody has the books, otherwise just try to use the PDF editor and highlight this. Highlight this particular sentence on top, because this is part of a question you will get. So digital cameras and camcorders, so you get questions asking how digital cameras and camcorders capture images. So basically, digital cameras use light sensors to capture the image formed by light passing through the device's lens. That's the specific keyword. Okay, so please make sure that you highlight this part. All good? All good? Shall I go? Okay, perfect. So, so the image is basically captured from the camera sensor, and the quality of the lens is exactly important, because the image processor and the resolution of the sensor will obviously increase the quality of the image, right? So a good image processor can actually compensate for poor lighting conditions as well. Okay, so have you guys seen the Google Pixel phone? You have seen advertisements and all? Yeah, perfect. So Google Pixel phone, they say they have the best camera with the best best phone with the best camera, because what they do is they have a massive image processor, not the lens, the image processor, plus Google is a software company, so they know how to build AI based solutions. So their software is extremely optimized so that the software processing does a massive job than the hardware processing. So how it works is the software basically processes a lot of information, and then it will basically fill in and fill the light when it's required. Okay, so now digital images. So we learned this in grade 8, where we talked about digital images and pixels. Okay, so technically a digital image is a PNG file which is created based on pixels, and when you want to make the quality high, that means when it comes to a better quality sensor, obviously you get high pixels, right? So the greater number of the pixels, the sensor resolution will go up. Okay, so that's how it works. And so some cameras basically use more light than one sensor, and each basically dedicated to different colors and wavelength of light, so that it will basically focus on specific set of quality on that image. Example is like, if you take this one, you can see so if you look at this diagram, you can see depending on the resolution and the number of pixels, the quality becomes massively changed. So if the megapixels are, let's say, 8 megapixel and above, then the resolution automatically goes up, right? So what's the megapixel count of your phone? What's the model you have? What's the megapixel count? What's the phone you have?
It's iPhone 13.
iPhone 13. Okay. So let's check. Let's get here. Let's do a search. We'll search as we'll search as iPhone 13. Okay, nice. We'll see the megapixel count. What is it? Oh. Cool. මොකක්ද උනේ? Sorry. This got. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, now I think you should be able to read it. So, okay, so iPhone 13 was released in 2021 and available in 2021 September, and you have the you have the eSIM version. Na? You can add a eSIM as well. So basically, you can add another SIM to the phone. Okay, that also works. And so yeah, according to this, what is the number of megapixels? Cool. Yes. Can you read it? So according to this, what is the number of megapixels in the main camera? Come on, it's right right there. 12 megapixels, exactly. So you have two 12 megapixel cameras, sensors, and the difference between these two sensors. Can you spot the difference between these two sensors? Why do we have two sensors?
Wide angle shots and ultra
Wide and ultra wide, exactly. So one is a 26 millimeter lens and the other one is a 13 millimeter lens. So that will give you a wide range of view based on the lens. And then what about the selfie cam? What's that resolution?
width.
Yeah, that is also 12, exactly. And that's a single 23 millimeter wide angle camera with the capacity of going forward up to f2.2. F means the just think about that and that as a number where it tells you how much light it can take into the camera, something like that. Okay. Okay, since you are using an iPhone, what is sensor shift? මොකක්ද මේ sensor shift කියන්නේ? Have you heard the term before?
No, sir.
Okay. හරි, sensor shift එක කියන්නේ හරි interesting point එකක් හරිද? So how it works is, okay, so we have this lens in the camera. So in this case we have three lenses. So here how it works is, now if I move this phone like this, if I like shake the phone, the camera also starts to move, right? Obviously, like if I do it like this, then yes, but when I hold it on my hand, the video is stable even if your hand is shaking, because our hands literally shake because we have our heartbeats and so on and so forth, right? But the video stays in a single position without shaking, right? So how it works is, now we have two different types of stabilization. One is stabilization, stabling the camera. So we have this optical OIS, which is known as optical image stabilization, where if you take this as the camera lens, okay, when you move this lens, automatically moves according to your movement, your hand movement. So then the video will stay on one place. Okay? But sensor shift works in a different way. Sensor shift. So think this is the sensor and this is the camera lens. Okay? Sensor shift works in a different way where these two are actually not directly connected. Okay? So this is the body, this is the sensor. When you move the body, the sensor automatically moves and try to compensate to the movement. Okay? So ඔයාට හොඳ වැඩක් තියෙනවා. ෆෝන් එක කනගාට අරන් මෙහෙම කරලා හොල්ලලා බලන්න. You should hear a small rattling sound. You can hear it, right? No, not like that. Like this. You should hear a rattling sound. Yeah, okay. So that's the sensor which is getting, which is trying to stabilize. So in this case, since you haven't turned on the camera, that sensor is basically moving around free. Okay. අම්බෝ මේ iPhone එක පාවිච්චි කරලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ ඔය දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. Those are the high technical stuff you need to know. එතකොට කාටරි කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් පොඩි දැන් පාට් එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන් මචං උඹලා දන්නේ නැහැනේ sensor shift කියන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා නේද කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. Now next time when you meet some friends tell them. Okay. Nice. Okay, so that's about the resolution. So yes, so that's why now people get high resolution cameras. Now this thing has, they say it's 48 megapixels, but the camera is quite good, but the pixel density is actually different based on that particular point. Okay, then any questions so far? We make a hurry fast module like we just skim through some points, so that's why I don't want you guys to write things down because it's about just some theory. So any questions? All good? Hi. Okay, Azman, are you also all good? Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Now then we okay මේ camera එක on කරලා හොල්ලලා බලන්න. Turn the camera on and then try to shake it. You won't hear it. When the camera is on, it will automatically try to compensate that movement. බලන්න මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. Trying to stop the movement and see. Okay, so that's enough about iPhones. Let's jump into televisions. So now we talk about home entertainment. So televisions. I was actually lucky enough to experience all the type of televisions because when I was born, my parents had a black and white very small TV like this. That was like early 90s, late 80s. Something like a small black and white TV, and then they bought a color TV at some point in 1990s, and now I do have a couple of TVs at home. These are like smart TVs which is connected to internet and so on and so forth. So the evolution of a TV is like quite fascinating, and since we got the chance to experience it from the beginning, for us it's still fascinating. So TVs මේක තමයි මරුම කතාව. TVs. So මෙතන නැහැ. So here you have the resolutions, but you don't have the actual, like the old resolutions. Okay, so now here this basically shows you the type of resolutions we have in the TVs. Okay, now we talked about the megapixel count, and then we know how the resolutions work. Now there are different types of transmission systems. Okay, so we basically call them as so here nowadays we all talk about HD, full HD, RHD, HD, ඔක්කොම නම් ටික දානවා HD, right? So that is high definition, where it is basically referred to as a 1080 resolution screen. Okay, but if you go way back, way back, our TV screens were very small. So there was a point where we had three TV screens which is 320 by 280 pixels. Okay, now see, the smallest screen size is still 720 by 480. Okay, so we had a point where it was 300. So 300 means, if you put that into context, okay, in your iPhone you have this icons, app icons. අන්නේ app icon එකක size එක තමයි we have that was actually the screen size of the TVs we had back then. Okay, so that was really small. I mean, not the size, the screen size was large, but the pixel density, the number of pixels, was in that range. Okay, so it was like very, very, very low in quality, and that's why, okay, that's why you guys can see all these old videos and all, they are like very low in quality. It's like mostly it's blurred, and you have this yeah, you have these blurred items and all. That is mainly because of this particular reason. So you have few things. So we have different types of resolutions. So we have NTSC. NTSC starts with 720 by 480, and we had another resolution called PAL, PAL, which is something which came from different types of pixels. So we had the PAL resolution, and we had the, so after that we had two different resolutions, the ATC, which is also known as the DVB, which is the 720 resolution, which is, I think, most of your laptops runs in this particular resolution for the moment. And then we have our good old 4K. So 4K is like this, and 8K is like this. Okay, so we do have 8K displays now in the market, but it's really very expensive, right? So then that is, yeah, that is about the TVs. Okay, question time. How much, what do you think, what is the most expensive TV? HD, 4K or 8K? 8K, exactly. Why do you think it's expensive?
Highest quality and resolution.
Yes, but what does it take so much money to make? It takes some money, like, it is expensive because it takes a lot of money to make that particular display, right? So why is the display size? Because it's huge, and the pixel density, like number of pixels, must be high as well, right? So because of that reason, it's going to take a lot of space and money to build it, right? Okay, so then when it comes to streaming, what do you think, guys? So what are the resolutions you get when it comes to streaming? These are kind of questions which you might get in the exam. No? YouTube became one of the resolutions. What do you get when it comes to selecting the resolutions in YouTube?
Max is 1080p.
No, YouTube can go higher. What's the maximum YouTube can go? Ethan, any idea? You guys watch YouTube videos, no? So you select that resolution selector and you change it up, no? Crank it up, no? So what's the maximum YouTube can go? Haven't tried it out? Okay, so YouTube actually can go up to 8K. There are 8K videos in YouTube. Okay, as well as, okay, and what's the lowest resolution? Yes.
2040.
140. Yes, yeah, but normally most of the time that gets capped at 320, 320, so that it will basically try to maintain that particular resolution. Nice, perfect, okay. And now when it comes to smart TVs, no, let's tell me answer for this as well. So, is it worth paying the extra cost for 4K and 8K television in order to watch television? Hari, මේක හරි tricky question එකක්. So, මොකද හිතන්නේ? Either you can start. What do you think? Discuss, I'll explain the question again. Discuss whether it is worth paying the extra cost for 4K or 8K televisions in order to watch television. You guys got the question, understood the question? Hari, මොකක්ද the answer? What do you think? Come on, I'm waiting for an answer. Dida, මොකද හිතන්නේ? What do you think? Is it worth?
Only watching television, then probably not. But like if you use like YouTube and Netflix and stuff, probably.
Yes, okay, yes. Probably not කියන්න බෑ. Yes, okay, perfect. So, why do you say probably not? Another question. Why do you say it's not that it's not worth it to buy the TV? Yes. Ethan, you have to answer this. මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඇයි ඒක ඇයි වැඩක් නැත්තේ? ටීවී එකක් අරගෙන 4K එකක් 8K එකක් ටීවී බලන්න.
8K have high resolutions, right?
That's the problem. Okay, let's apply this to Sri Lankan context. Or how many HD channels do we have in Sri Lanka?
Like 3.
As far as I know, Hiru TV has HD, and I think there's about 3, right? Up to 3 or 4. So, and also, Hari, forget about the whole thing. You have to pay extra to watch the HD, no? HD doesn't come free, no? So you have to pay an extra amount, and you have to buy something like PO TV or Dialog TV to get that service. So then, I don't think like, let's say if you don't have any of those cable television services, let's say you are just using the antenna cable to watch it, then no fine, you won't be able to even watch a TV show on a 8K display. So, next question. Do you think there's any point in creating 16K streams for home use? What do you think? I need to know your perspective. Huh? Yes, no, never. What do you think from your personal perspective? හොඳට නරකද? Yeah, Azman, what do you think? Will you spend money to buy a 16K screen for your home use?
No.
Okay, why?
It will be very expensive.
One way, yes, but let's say if you have all the money in the world, then will you buy? What do you think? What about Dinal? If you have all the money in the world and if you get a 16K screen, will you buy it? අයිරෙයිල ලෝකයල් yes කියල්ලේකට. That's that's an answer where you should say yes. Yeah, 16K screen means like okay. So if you take a 16K screen, that means that is extremely going to be high quality. But it comes with a but always, because the thing is, yes, it will be high quality, but the problem is you don't have any devices to render that. So that means the quality, to get that particular quality, it will be quite hard. Right? Okay, that's the idea behind this thing. Okay, so do you guys have smart TVs at home?
Yes.
Okay, what are, like, just tell me few features that the TV has.
It access like YouTube and
YouTube, perfect. What else?
Netflix
Perfect. Okay,
and
and the internet, all good, perfect. What's the model? Is it LG, Samsung?
YouTube.
Samsung, nice. Okay, I recently bought a TCL. I have a LG, but that's quite old, and I bought a TCL. So that means Samsung means it should be running the what OS? What's the OS? Operating system. When you turn on the TV, what do you see? Do you see the Google sign? Google logo?
No, sir.
Okay. Then it might be running a different OS. Now the Samsungs, there are Samsung TVs which run two different types of operating systems. One is known as the Tizen OS, and one is known as the Google TV OS. So if it is Google TV OS, when the application starts, it starts with the Google logo. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, perfect. TVs. I think you have a clear idea about the TVs also, right? Okay, so then we have sound systems, we have gaming consoles. Give me 1 second. Converging devices. Let's try to finish up the devices, because it's all some basic stuff now, talking about few simple things. Okay, so sound systems. Now sound systems, they also act as simple devices, where most of them, what they do is they basically allow you to connect your device or some sort of a sound producing system to this application or this device, and this device produces sound. So most of the time it allows you to connect a USB or a Bluetooth device, or your phone basically, and then it will be basically sending the sound out. So the sound devices, now newer devices, they actually can connect to Wi-Fi also. So you have Wi-Fi, and there are some devices which has Spotify inbuilt. So technically you can log into your Spotify account and play Spotify music from the device itself. So you don't need a phone or any sort of a device which runs Spotify. Okay, and so that's about sound recorders. So it basically gives you the option to play rich high quality sound. Okay, so sound players, sound recorders, and the sound whole market is actually not here in Sri Lanka, because we don't even get high quality sound media players in Sri Lanka. Because if you go abroad, you can see like if you go to States or something, there are like amplifiers and setups which will cost you about let's say about 30-40 million rupees in Sri Lankan. Sri Lankan rupees. Those are like extremely high-end devices which allows you to connect and play high-quality sound. So here we don't get to see those things because here it's kind of like a different culture. So then we have the PVRs, so personal video recorders. So PVRs are actually typical recorders which will basically allow us to record some sort of a video of broadcasted content. Okay, nowadays you guys don't hear this much. Then කවුරුත් video record කරලා බලන්නේ නැහනේ. Dina, do you have POTV or dialogue at home? POTV. Okay. So, does your parents or somebody rewind and watch previous shows? Exactly, right? How about Ethan? Do you have POTV or dialogue TV?
POTV, sir.
POTV. Perfect. So, your parents might be also watching old shows by rewinding them, right? Okay. So, back in the day, I mean, very long time ago, we did not had that feature. So what we did was, my parents also had one. It's we call it a VCR, so a video tape player, a recorder. So what you do is video cassette recorder, VCR. So in the VCR you have a timer. Put number display thing. You can set up a time, and you can set the channel, and then you keep it active. So exactly in that time, it starts recording. So literally, it starts recording into a cassette tape, a VCR tape. So then later on, what we do is we then then after that particular time, the recording stops, and we watch it later on. So that's how. So that was actually a problem back then, but now with all these high-end recording systems, now that's not a big issue. Okay, so now it's a normal day-to-day activity. Okay, so yeah, that's about personal video recorders, and then we do have Blu-ray and DVD players. So this is another point where we have the ability to play CDs. Okay, so Blu-ray discs and DVDs, what they do is they basically allow you to record or watch recorded media in these type of CDs. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a CD and a Blu-ray? කියන්න බා. Ethan, can you tell me what's the difference between a CD and a Blu-ray? A compact disc and a Blu-ray disc? Think about okay, so yeah, we'll start from a CD, a compact disc.
So data.
Yes, it is data. Perfect. Okay. What are the primary differences between a CD and let's say a CD and a DVD? Let's take a DVD. So what would be the primary difference? Think. හිතන්න මොකටද ඕනේ ඕක? Come on. You guys can should be able to answer this. Dinal, what do you think? The difference between these two?
It have a limit, right?
Exactly, it has limit. Exactly. So when the CDs came out, the CDs had a limit of 700 megabytes. So that was the maximum limit. So what happened was 700 megabytes back then it was actually more than enough because we didn't had let's say high quality movies. The maximum quality we had was playable in that disc, and if it was a high quality movie, then usually it came in 2 CDs. So we had to watch one CD and then put the second one. Okay, that was when it comes to very high quality videos. And then we got the technology called DVDs, and the DVDs had a massive improvement because a typical DVD was able to handle up to 4.4 to 4.6 gigabytes. Okay, so that's what's the difference between the CD and the DVD. And on top of all those things, then we had the Blu-rays. So the Blu-rays, they can go up to close to 100 gigabytes. Okay, so that's like about 20 times storage than a DVD. That's the difference between these two. Okay, so that's how it works. So I hope it's clear, right? So the Blu-ray discs can store HD movies, as well as they can go up to higher qualities, higher picture qualities, so that the newer 4K and HD Blu-ray players can actually play 4K content. And you can, if you have a 4K TV, then that means you can actually consume and watch the content on that. Hari, okay, gaming consoles, nice. Okay, something interesting. So, okay, so who has a gaming console? You have one. What?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
The PlayStation
PlayStation. Ah, nice. PS4, 5.
5.
You got a 5. Okay. Okay, that's good. What did you play?
Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Fortnite and like other games, like car games and stuff.
Okay. I wanted to buy one, but then I heard the news that PS5 Pro is coming out. So I changed my decision. So I'm still waiting for that to come out, and then we'll see. PS5 Pro is released, but it's not yet in Sri Lanka, I think, no? Yeah. Did you play for Horizon?
In some shops, the PS5 is there, sir.
PS5 Pro is there, is it?
No, not the Pro.
Pro is not there. Yeah, I am actually looking for the Pro because I'm actually waiting for the Pro to get into Sri Lanka. Then we can check it. Have you played Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Find that game. If you have time to play, check that one. That's a nice story. Horizon Zero Dawn. Sorry, Horizon. Yeah, Zero Dawn, and the new one is known as Forbidden West. Okay, so simple theory going on forward. So gaming consoles, they basically, as you know, they basically allow users to play games in basically how in that device itself, or you can plug that into a TV, which will then allow you to play it on a bigger screen. So they do come in different sizes and different versions, plus with different types of abilities to get the games. So example is for PlayStations, we use the CDs or the Blu-ray discs, and let's say if you take this thing, what do you call this?
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, Switch, exactly. Yeah, if you take a Nintendo Switch, then that basically has that small memory chip thing. And if you take something like a Steam Deck or something, then you don't have anything, but you can expand the storage and you can download through internet. So likewise, there are different games and different devices which will consume different types of ways to basically run the games. So most of them are very often wireless. Now, almost 99% of them are wireless, but you can actually use wireless controls and these things to control the characters. So some consoles have motion controls, so motion sensors, where it will basically allow you to move your characters and all. And even PlayStation has the PlayStation VR kit, no? That is there.
Yes.
Yeah, I sometime back when I went to exhibition at BMICH and I tried the VR kit for the first time. තව ටිකෙන් අර සෙනග මැද්දේ ඇදන් වැටෙනවා මොට්ටය because they had a driving game like some sort of like Forza or something. So so you technically can't play it while standing because like you can watch the entire watch throughout the entire cockpit. So I was playing it and I somehow I think I crashed into a wall and I was going to fall down because now like when you crash you can look to your right side and see that you're going to crash, so that kind of gives you a adrenaline rush. But it's a good experience. It was too expensive, otherwise I would have bought one. But and you need to buy the game specifically also, right? You can't play just every game, no point.
I have the VR headset, but the games I don't have.
You have the headset? Okay. What type of games are there?
I couldn't buy the games.
Okay. I think there was a couple of games, no? Like recently there was a release of Resident Evil. There was a release. Okay. That's a VR box. Nice. Okay. So for that you can put your phone, right? You can put your phone and then play VR. Does it work like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have seen one of those at some point. You can put your phone and it came with a small joystick also, right? පොඩි joystick එකකුත් එනවා නේද? Control ගන්න පුළුවන්. You can connect it through Bluetooth and you can use to play games and control.
No, sir.
Okay. One of my friends had one that had a joy. So you just need to put your phone, but before you put your phone, you connect the small joystick using Bluetooth, and it had a software. So in that software, you can move the dot using your kind of like the controller. Anyway, okay, perfect. So you guys know.
There's some games in Play Store we can download and play with this VR box.
VR box, okay. What type of games? Like games like Minecraft?
Not that games, some different games like Space Loop and like some games.
Okay, super. Okay, so there's a point to discuss. So discuss the age rating of popular games. මොනවද මේ age ratings කියන්නේ? What are age ratings?
Age you have to play the game.
Sorry. Age to?
Like depending on the game, like the age that you should start.
You have to be exactly. But but does it work actually? It doesn't work. It doesn't work actually, right? So even if the age range says that you can't play it, you will still කොහමරි හොරෙන් ගහනවා නියුක අන්තිමට. Unless it specifically says, right? So this age rating is actually something very serious in other countries. In Sri Lanka, there is no such thing as a policy, so we call them governing policies. නීතියක් තියෙනවා. නීතිය තිබුණට නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ. So the rules are there, the law is there, but the law is not active. So that means like you can easily go to a shop, even a small kid can go to a shop and buy a game and the seller will sell it. But in a different country, if they try to sell a game to an underage child, then the shop owner is going to get sued. හොඳ නඩුවක් කනවා. මිනිහට ගොඩ එන්න බැරි වෙන්න. That's how it works. So yes, these ratings are very important, but the thing is, since it those rules must be applied. So if the rules are not applied, then it doesn't care that much. Okay, nice, perfect. Okay, then we talk about the handheld versions of gaming consoles. So they basically provide you mobile gaming, and these consoles have an inbuilt screen, and they use less storage as well as like full size consoles, because they are small, and it's very easy to compact everything in. But the thing is, what is limited is the power. So since they are small, they lack a big CPU and a big motherboard and a big cooling system and a RAM, because everything has to be miniature and small, cramped into a single container. So because of that reason, they lack the power, but yes, it works. And then so that's about the games. And also okay, so then we have the media players. So media players are actually something which will basically connect to the television, and then this would basically stream content directly. Now in a way, PEOTV box, that POTV connector, is falling under this category. So that is a media box. So it is connected to the POTV service, and it basically consumes the service directly out of the main system, and it allows you to watch the content, right? So here you can see an Apple, this is an Apple TV box. What is this one? What is that? This is an NVIDIA. This is known as the NVIDIA. What's this? I'll try to show you guys. NVIDIA came up with a gaming box long time ago. NVIDIA gaming TV. NVIDIA Shield. This is the thing. It's still there, but I think it's not. It's a bit different. See, okay, this is the one. This is known as the NVIDIA Shield. So yes, this is similar to a media box, but they basically allow you GeForce cloud gaming. So see, it gives you all the features, and you get the remote. You can watch all the high definition videos and all, and the fun part is it gives you GeForce Now, so you can actually play your favorite games on it, like Fortnite and all. So it's not a console as per se, but you have the option of playing some games. Okay. And then the next one what you can see here is that's a Amazon device.
From the TV.
Sorry?
Can we download the game from the TV?
Yeah, so this NVIDIA Shield basically allows you to play games. Okay, so it actually works in a fascinating way. So the thing is, now NVIDIA has this thing called cloud gaming. Okay, so how it works is, this particular device will technically connect to a gaming server in the cloud, and then you can connect whatever the controller to this device and play the game. So your TV doesn't do anything. You're kind of like remotely connecting. So this what this does is, it just authorizing, connection එක හදලා data ටික අරන් එන එක තමයි මෙයා කරන්නේ. So it allows you to literally play games online. මරු system එක. But the thing is, you need to have a very powerful internet connection. If the internet connection is weak, then you're done. You can't.
It is free, right?
Huh?
In other countries, the internet is free.
That's the thing. අපි ගැව්වොත් එහෙම ඕක ගැව්වොත් ටික වෙලා ගියාම ඩේටා ටික ඉවරයි. Then what to do? ඊට පස්සේ ගෙදර මිනිස්සු කිනොත් බැනුම් ගාගෙන අන්තිමට ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි. That's the problem. So in other countries the data is free, and in US I think there are some data providers which gives you free data for this, so that you can play as much as you want. Hari? Yeah, and then we talked about this already, smart TVs. And ඔබින් පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද NAS එකක් කියන්නේ? Network attached storage එකක් කියන්නේ. Guys, if you can highlight this part, මෙන්න මේක අහන්න පුළුවන් questions වලට. මේක ඔයගලන්ට අහන එක. What is a network attached storage device? So what is a NAS? You get this question in advanced levels also. Same question. So basically a NAS is a network attached storage, is basically a device which has a storage in it. Storage එකක් තියෙනවා, and that device is connected to a internet. Storage එකක් තියෙන device එකක් internet එකට connect කරනවා. Network attached storage. Network in the sense, yeah, or internet or to the network. So what I do is, now since I have the Raspberry Pi, I use this as a NAS. So I download movies and all, put it into my SD card, and I connect this using a network port, RJ45 port. I connect this into my dialog router at home. Okay. Now, sorry, my POTV router at home. So I give power and I keep this on. So then I watch the content in the Raspberry Pi through the TV. So when I turn on the TV, I can see all the content which is already there. So whatever I download, I directly watch it on TV. Straightforward. කිසි කරදරයක් නැහැ, මෙතනින් download කරා අතනින් බැලුවා. So that is, so I have set this up as a network attached storage, and that's how I use it to watch the content. And then at the same time, here this is what it says. Raspberry Zero single board computer and free software can be used as a media player. This makes it very affordable alternative to TV and media player or a smart TV. ඇත්තටම මේක ලාභයි. So let's say this Raspberry Pi, you can buy this for about 12,000 rupees. Okay, and with the case and with a high capacity SSD, sorry, this SD card, I think it will all cost you about 20,000. Okay, so if you don't have a smart TV, then let's say you have a normal size TV, but if it is not smart, the smartest option would be to go and buy something like this. And then you plug this into the TV, just like that, it's smart. You can do whatever. You can play videos. And you can use this as a portable storage system. Okay, so yeah, we'll do two more things, and then we can call it a day. Okay, so then then we talked about this thing and some personal media players. So this was a fad back in the day because everybody wanted to get and play media on iPods. So but nowadays we don't actually use iPods because now we have mobile phones. But we had this type of portable MP3 players back in the day. Okay, and then we have navigation aids. What are navigation aids? What does it do? Sorry? GPS, exactly. So, Mata, tell me an example. What type of devices we have in navigation?
Google,
Google Maps,
Google Maps are there, perfect. And
Apple Maps.
Apple Maps is also there, perfect. But what about the devices? In your vehicles at home, do you have GPS? Okay, think about this in a different way. So, there's this device called Gramin, Gramin, Gramin. So, Gramin is actually a device which allows you to connect to satellites directly, and it will then allow you to see the location. Okay, so these GPS satellites, don't get this the wrong way. Yeah? So Google Maps and Apple Maps, they both need the internet. So without the internet, they won't work. But when it comes to GPS, GPS works in a different way, where the GPS directly connects to a satellite. So because it's directly connected to the satellite, that does not need internet. So wherever you go in the world, wherever like as long as you have a direct sight, I mean, not that if you get stuck in a cave or something, then it's going to be a problem. But if you can see the sky and if you have a direct line of sight, then that will start to work. Okay, so navigation information will be basically available through this. Okay, so we need to jump into smart automation, but yeah, let me check this thing. No, shame, that's okay. We can wrap it up for now, for the moment. So we just need to, because we are, otherwise we are going too fast then. I can just finish this part off, but I need some time to go through the GUIs, and we'll do it. So what I'll do is so I hope you all have access to the LMS. So I will upload a lecture note for this with some short note points curated specifically focused towards the exam, and we'll keep that available in the LMS so that you guys can download it. And we'll be actually writing some stuff after we finish this part, because this is all about basic theory, and I really expect you guys to know this, because it's really simple. Pointing devices, tracking balls. So I'll show you some papers as well. So when you go through the papers, it will be quite straightforward. So these type of things. So this among the example, we need to talk about the microphone. Okay, so we learn how it works here, and the same thing is there in Edexcel A levels also. Same diagram, same way, same theory, and the same question. But in Edexcel A levels, we don't go in depth, and we don't talk about this particular point at that depth. But these are also there. So when you learn it once, you will be able to use it until the end. Okay, any questions? Okay, both of you look tired. How was school?
yeah,
What we do?
ceremony,
Sports meet?
prefect ceremony.
Prefect ceremony. Ah, okay. You're a prefect?
Yes,
Arte, nice, congrats. Okay, so you got awarded today.
yes,
Ah, nice. Okay. What about dinner? You had sports.
No, sir, sports meet just yesterday.
You had sport meet yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Ade, that's good. No, most of the schools they have it in March. Ah, that's really good. What about Azman? How was your day?
I would say.
You go to school, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nice, perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. Let's wrap it up and let's catch back next week. We do have enough time, so we can slowly go through it, and then once we jump into these modules, I will obviously slow down because there are certain points which you just need to take some notes of, and then let's see. We can obviously go through it. Perfect. Then catch you next week.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See you. See you. See you. Okay. Bye. Good night.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Good night. Bye.
Bye.